Ferrari have today been running on their private racetrack in Fiorano with the SF-24 and F175 at the behest of the FIA, and they're trying out some new experimental wheel covers to help hopefully with visibility for the cars behind. Now, on initial impressions of what these wheel covers look like, they look absolutely disgusting. It's going to be one of the worst things I've ever seen put on a Formula 1 car, and I pray they never see the light of day because they just look atrocious on the car, as you can see from the pictures on screen. But let me know what you all think of these wheel covers on the Ferrari car. I would love to know what you all think of them and how they look. Let me know in the comments down below. This is the second experiment the FIA have run with trying to figure out a new method in which they can help alleviate some of the spray coming off of the cars for the cars behind. The first trial they did was back last year with Mercedes and McLaren. But of course the major important test comes tomorrow at around between 9 and 10 AM with the SF-24 and the Ferrari team having their filming day. And within this filming day, of course, they're going to be debuting their Imola upgrade. And with that being said, for those of you that aren't quite familiar on what these upgrades are going to be, I'm now going to go over them in the video right now. So let's just briefly talk about now these, of course, extreme upgrades that I've talked about on the channel. So there's a link in the video, the top right, where you'll have the full overview of what these extreme upgrades should be about. But I will, of course, briefly touch upon it in this video right now as well. The new look SF-24 to debut in Imola in May will feature revised side pods and floor, with these evolutionary steps aimed at building upon the solid vanilla base created over the winter period, an intentional decision made by the team many months ago. Ferrari will be following an upgrade path not too dissimilar to that of which the RB19 undertook last season with regards to its cooling of their car. So one area to be revised alongside the side pod will be that of the inlets. So expect to see an extreme iteration of the air inlets make their debut, much in the same fashion seen on the RB19 from Hungary onwards last year, with it being known as the letterbox openers, a feature, ironically, which has already been utilised on the Aston Martin AMR 24 this season. This is possible for Ferrari thanks to there being no major cooling issues experienced across all the Ferrari powertrains in the opening 2 rounds of the season. Now, Ferrari also had to pay attention to their own airbox design, as it's a lot more aggressive than those of their Ferrari-powered customer cars such as the Sauber and Haas. And thankfully for the team, there are no issues found whatsoever in this area as well. Therefore, all the time spent in the wind tunnel can be focused purely on trying to find the most performance for the car, as they aren't facing last year's cooling issues. And speaking of performance gains, as has been well documented over the last 3 years, the floor in this current generation of F1 cars is the most vital area for generating downforce and lap time. So the team have, in conjunction with the side pod and inlets upgrade, designed a brand new floor for Imola. And as we saw with all the pictures of the Red Bull floor in Monaco when Sergio Perez had his crash, and with the subsequent crashes of other teams, the difference between the Red Bull floor and that of all the other teams last season was massive. The level of detail which was found on the RB19's floor made every other floor last season look so basic, and I think this is an area Ferrari, like all the other teams, have a lot of catching up to do. But also on the other side of things, that of course means there's a lot of performance left in all of their floors to be extracted with updates, and that's why Ferrari will be bringing a brand new version of their floor in conjunction with the side pod updates. And there you have it. So it's a substantial upgrade. You could almost say it's in a way similar to the McLaren upgrade of having almost a B-spec car. And with that, of course, comes a lot of needing to test out the new setup, the new, ride height levels, I presume, and all other kind of manner of things that come with a whole new package. And thankfully for them, it's not a sprint weekend, which is another reason why they kind of held off over the last couple of events in not bringing them to these events, as sprint weekends only allow you to have one practice session, whereas obviously in a normal weekend you get 3 of them. So 3 1-hour sessions to find the right setup and perfect it heading into qualifying and, more importantly, the race. But it's also not just Ferrari that are bringing upgrades to this race. Oh no, even Red Bull have their own set of upgrades that they will be bringing. What those are, we don't quite know right now, and we don't know the kind of significance of them. Is it a small update, much in the same way they had in Miami, where they got rid of one of the floor stays because they don't need that additional support? Or is it going to be somewhat more of a substantial upgrade? That is what's kind of left for us to all think about in the kind of week and a bit that we have until the Imola Grand Prix. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they come with and how everything now comes together with McLaren, with Ferrari's upgrade package, with Red Bull, how they all sit on a kind of a level playing field where they've all had the same, number of sessions to test out their packages and to perfect the setups as they head into the main portion of the week. So it's going to be really interesting to see what plays out in that week. And I hope Ferrari have a very successful update package and it propels them to the front for the weekend and for the foreseeable, because I would love to have a 3-horse race for the title for the foreseeable future, for the entirety of the remaining races for the 24 season. I think that would be fantastic for the sport. So yeah, there's the video, guys. I hope you all enjoy it. If you have, leave a thumbs up on the video. Comment down below anything regarding the updates and how you hope it propels them forward. And I'll catch you all in another Formula 1 video around Thursday and Friday with the upgrade pictures.